Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Executive Buying Weekly Market Wrap for August 18th, 2017. I wanted to start off this week with the hourly chart, which kind of gives us a little bit of an insight over what we're seeing on the short term. So we're obviously seeing lower highs and lower lows. So here's a low, and even lower, the last one on this afternoon. So what's happening here is we're seeing more distribution or more sellers becoming aggressive versus buying, but the buyers. The buyers don't mind kind of letting it come in and buying some here and there, but the sellers seem to not want to own stock, and that's what's pushing the market lower. With that being said, if we take a look at the daily chart, we still see a nice uptrend, and on this uptrend, now this is going back all the way to November of last year. We're kind of in a spot where, hey, we're in a big test right now. So this is it. We have some uptrend support that we're at. We had a couple of big down days. A lot of people are negative. And from an hourly standpoint, we could understand why it looks like it's in a downtrend. And from a daily standpoint, we're kind of at that testing level. So it's make or break it for the bulls here. I mean, it's like, they have to get it together to keep what has been an amazing move in the market, especially since the election. And we're starting to see some weakness occur. So if that continues, it may be a reason to become a little more bearish. But for right now, the daily is still intact with an uptrend. And the monthly, if you take a look at this from January 2016, is continuing to move higher here. So 1 month down is not going to change the uptrend, given where we're at right now. I mean, it would have to be continued uh, down months and continued moving lower over a sustained period of time. So I'm not saying that this isn't the top. I don't know. I'm just saying that what we're seeing so far at this point is short-term selling, and it hasn't really affected the daily or the monthly charts yet. The other thing that I wanted to comment on was the fear and greed index. So this is a index where you can go to CNN Fear Greed Index and you could actually get this. And what this is a measure of how the market participants are feeling in the market right now. So it's an oscillator, it goes back and forth. A week ago, it was at 25. It still would have shown fear. Now it's showing extreme fear. A month ago, it was at 74, showing greed. So you get an idea that this thing does move back and forth. Secondly, and with oscillators like this, people could be scared, but it doesn't necessarily mean you step in and buy just because people are nervous. They could remain nervous for a very long time, and in fact, they could continue to get even more nervous. So what happens with this, it's not a signal that you're supposed to act on right now. It's just a signal to keep in mind so maybe you could get on the right side of things when they start to occur. So what I always like to see is strength in the market before you do anything, or weakness in the market before you sell anything. So we're starting to see a little bit of weakness, but it's got to be a little more sustained. Up until this point, the Bears have fumbled every single ball that was handed to them for basically the last 9 years almost. So the proof of burden is certainly on the Bears or the sellers of this market in order to go out there and really show that, hey, this trend, this buy the dip mentality is over. So we'll see what happens, but people are nervous now. I know when I talk to some of my investors, it's a mentality of, hey, I think we're too high. That's kind of the overall sentiment out there, and that's what we're seeing in this fear and greed index. So you guys who think it's too high, you may be right. I'm not saying that you're wrong. I'm just telling you that that's kind of what everybody's thinking right now. And unless you see a change, you kind of continue with the current trend. So right now, for me, in my time frame, the trend is still higher. It has not broken. I will continue to do what I do from a bullish standpoint. But when it does break, I am more than willing to change my mind. The worst thing that you could be in this business is stubborn, and we're just going to keep on plugging away. So, hope you guys got something out of this video today, and I hope you have a great weekend. And I'll look forward to doing it again next week. Thanks.